This is The Drive with Mark Penatelli.
So tonight, Major League Baseball, 6:30 p.m. pregame, 7:05 first pitch. Nationals, Rays. Carolina Oliveris.
Mark Penatelli.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Can't complain.
Well, you could, but, you know.
I mean, I've got to let people know that I feel like I am sitting in, like, the waiting room of a hospital right now with the two of you. Carolina comes in here with a bag of ice she has on her wrist. Mark has been limping around like
a zombie.
Yeah, I mean, like Forrest Gump before he lost the leg braces today.
Yes.
I mean, the two of you are really just having it bad.
Yeah.
Softball, man.
Was rough. What was great was Sam's been off all year.
Mm-hmm.
And he announced today after seeing us, I'm not playing anymore. This is reason enough for me not to play anymore.
Like ever again?
I'm not playing softball anymore. I was telling Mark, every single time we go out for a kickball game and we're sitting there and everybody's warming up, it's like, this is the game plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I always say, and I try to like vocalize it, the only thing I'm trying to do out here is not get hurt.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if I hurt myself, if I have to go to a doctor and they say, how did you do this? And my answer is, I was playing rec kickball at the age of 24 and I really hurt my knee. I'm not gonna be able to stomach that medical bill.
Well,
that's exactly why Mom was like, go to urgent care. I was like, no, because I don't want to deal with it. But mine wasn't like a kind of issue like that you had. Mine was just a stupid line drive to the wrist, and I'm talking about like a rocket.
Stupid as in, yeah, like 180 mile an hour line drive to the wrist. Which, we were just like, let it go. Let it go. But that's not her nature. Her nature is, no, I got it.
Nope.
If I played third base,
I would have done it. Olay!
Yep.
I would have like, oh.
Third base for me, playing the hot corner in a rec league softball game would mean I'm standing about 15 yards deep in the outfield.
You get a lot of those screamers because the right-handers pull, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like I always tell when they apologize. I'm like, I know you come to rec ball just to show your macho-ness off and, to feel like a real man. But it's all part of the game.
If they're anything like me, like, I can't control where I'm hitting it.
Oh, no, these guys can control it.
I close my eyes and rip it.
Oh. The guys that we played last night can definitely control it.
Oh, yeah, no, those, but they didn't do anything to me personally to cause me. Right. This was the old Wills.
Was it on your way to first, on your way to second in the field?
I was on second.
Going to the bathroom or something?
I was literally on second. It was literally the plant. The moment I planted this foot and pushed off of it, I told you, I thought that the ball had hit my leg because I heard a pop in my head. And it felt like something hitting me in my calf.
I cannot have
And then I realized, the ball's way over there. Obviously, I didn't get hit by the ball. So I was telling you. Oh, no. Did I get out?
Yeah, you did. It was double play.
Oh.
Yeah, because we had the bases loaded, and the girl that was out on third didn't run home, and which caused you. Was it the moment you left the bag? No, it's when you paused. When you saw her stay at third, you stopped, and then I saw I saw the way your leg bounced up.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
But
it's all a blur. But nonetheless, I was told today by the doctors, you're done. So I'm officially on the...
Hang them up. Can we get your cleats and pin them up on the wall in here?
Well, no. That's just for this year.
You never know, man. This year,
man. You said at my age,
you never
is this
know.
it?
Where were you in the last day of Mark Penatelli's softball career?
Well, yeah, I don't want to end it with 0 for 0 with 2 walks, But nonetheless.
It's going to make me nervous to ever put you back in.
I know. She's always going to be like, I can't put you back in now. It's too late. It's too late. My wife just thinks, if you drop like 40 pounds and...
Stretched, right?
All
every
those
day.
things. Yes, all those things. Work out with a grip. She thinks at the gym I take it too lightly. That I don't put the muscles in anger, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she's like, and then you get out there in the softball field, and then you're like, ugh, and you try to go at it. And it's like your muscles aren't used to that. When's the last time they were like that?
And your urge.
I was like, kid too.
Carolina just said, stretch every day, and I know that's what we always hear. Like you have to get up and stretch every day. Do you guys know anybody that stretches every day? Do either of you?
I stretch in the morning.
Do you really? You get
do.
up and stretch?
I do because I'm getting to the age where yesterday. I was telling him when I ran to first, I felt that just like that tightness in the back of my leg, and I've never felt that before. And I was like, nope, I'm not running. Like, I'm done. So I was so happy I got out because I don't want to feel what you felt last year in kickball and when he's feeling now.
Right.
But yeah, I do stretch every single morning.
The only stretching I do the whole like I'll wake up in bed and then just like laying down in bed do the just a big long stretch, crack my back, crack my knuckles, and I'm good for the day.
The only stretching I do is like when my wife comes home and she's like, "Is this all you've done today?" And I'm like, "Well," and then I stretch the truth a little bit.
Wow.
Time for the headlines. Guess what? Today it is Taco Tuesday. Tacos are just $1.25, but you better hurry because this will end as soon as the Taqueria San Luis closes, which is at 8 o'clock tonight. So you have until 8 o'clock tonight to get $1.25 tacos. Let that get you in the door. I say get a couple of chorizo, a couple of chickens, tacos, not a couple of chickens. A couple of chicken tacos, maybe a couple of steak. And get some of those nachos. I think they've got the best nachos anywhere. I mean, the kind of nachos that can feed multiple people. Taqueria San Luis, delicious, authentic food. 1706 Highway 70, just outside of New Bern.
ESPN News Services. Yankee slugger Aaron Judge became the first MLB player to record 8 strikeouts in a doubleheader, including 5 punch-outs in the nightcap on Monday against the Tigers. New York took the opener 7-4 behind Luis Severino's 8 strong innings and 6-run fourth inning, then dropped the second game 4-2.
Was it met with boos? I mean, if you remember many years ago, or many weeks ago, I should say, Giancarlo Stanton, we like to call him Mike, he was booed, harshly by the Yankees crowd for striking out with great regularity. Now, I get it. Aaron Judge is more endeared to the fan base. He had that great season last year. To answer your question, no, he was not booed. I'm not saying, well, that's not fair. But I get it. He's maybe a little bit more entrenched into the Yankees fan base. Stanton hadn't really earned that, well, we'll give you a break. But this goes back to a statement that we've talked about several times. In this new, I guess, culture of baseball where we're okay with guys hitting all these home runs and striking out, it's just the way it is. I mean, you blame the Ryan Howards of the world, blame all of these power hitters. It's just we seem to be okay. And plus, people love the strikeout from a pitcher. I mean, nothing is more impressive from a pitcher, from a pitching standpoint, than striking a guy out. And nothing's more impressive from a power hitter than knocking one out of the park. So this works well for both things in baseball. As much as I think a lot of the old timers look at it and go, well, Mickey Mantle only struck out like 4 times in 8 years. I'm making these stats up, but you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yes, it used to be almost an insult if you struck out in baseball. It was almost the ultimate embarrassing moment. But now it's like, you know what? It's an out. So what? You swing for the fences and you missed.
It's no different than a ground out to short.
Makes no difference. An out is an out. Now, I'm sure there's a manager like Madden that would tell you, no, we can move this guy. It moves a guy on the base pads. It does this. It does that. But
that's not what the Yankees have constructed. They have
Right.
constructed this team with the intent of, okay, we're going to have a bunch of guys who can just get up and crush the ball.
And they do. And
Yeah.
beyond the big names, as we've seen
Right.
Torres and others, they have a team of power.
Sluggers.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a guy who last year led the league in strikeouts. 208 strikeouts a year ago for Aaron Judge. Still won Rookie of the Year. Still hit 50-plus home runs. This year, he already has 16 home runs. If you project it out, he's on pace for 45 home runs this season. So he's batting 270 and some change, I think. He's playing really well. I think it's funny. And honestly, I enjoy the new style of baseball. Dude, I would much rather see like 4 or 5 home runs in a game as opposed to small ball or anything like that. You remember when the Royals, when they were making those runs several years ago? That was their whole thing, was small ball. Like Ned Yost was all about the small ball with those Royals teams, and they were really good at it, but it wasn't an exciting style of baseball. And sure, this just swing for the fences time and time again can get kind of boring at times, I'm sure. But you get the 1 or 2 long balls and you're invigorated, and that, the 3-run homer looks a lot better than the single that you got in the second inning where you were ultimately stranded on second base at some point.
Right.
This style produces runs. It's similar to the evolution that basketball has had where they shoot more and more 3-pointers. I think we're only going to continue to see this style of baseball grow.
I hope this is what I think it is before we move on from this. Let me play it just blindly and hope for the best.
I don't have a sense, honestly, one way or the other. I know I've kind of said a couple things about it. I stand by that, and hopefully it is something that gets worked out. But I also know that it's way out of my hands and way out of my control. So it's time for me to move on and us to move on and just focus on what's in front of us.
Okay, that's Aaron Boone talking about, I think the day before, where he blamed ESPN for the Yankees' schedule. True story. Aaron worked for ESPN the previous year and didn't seem to have a problem with ESPN's schedule. Now, as manager, he blames the Yankees' schedule on ESPN and TV. But I go right to, this is nothing more than the any coach in any sport. TV generates revenue for your sport. Suck it up. Play the schedule that you're given.
Well, that's not. You're right, but the reason they have a problem with this is because the Yankees this year have already had 7 games postponed due to rain or snow, and they had another game that was suspended in the 6th inning. So, essentially, the rest of the season they're really limited on off days, and ESPN is adamant in keeping them in their Sunday night baseball slots because obviously a team like the Yankees is going to be a huge national draw, and ESPN wants to feature these teams on TV. We were making fun of the teams like the Cincinnati Reds and the Tampa Bay Rays and all those people earlier. The reason you don't see them on TV is because people want to see the Yankees. Nobody wants to see the Rays. Nobody wants to see the Reds. So ESPN's like, no, we've got a contract. We can put you on TV this number of times. We're going to do that. The Yankees want ESPN to work with them now that they're like, look, we've got 7.5 games we have to make up, and ESPN's saying, well, that sucks. I guess you're going to be sleeping in chairs at an airport somewhere, but we're not going to help you out. We're going to put you on Sunday Night Baseball still.
Yeah. And again, it's Yankees sort of problem. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's other teams that wouldn't have the same problem that the Yankees are having, but, is it 27 World Series crowns? I don't feel sorry for the Yankees. I mean, good luck. So, do you feel sorry for them?
No. By Jake Trotter, ESPN. The Oakland Athletics selected Kyler Murray with the 9th overall pick in Monday's MLB draft, which could complicate his future as Oklahoma's quarterback. The assigned value of the 9th pick is $4,761,500. Murray, who backed up Heisman winner Baker Mayfield last season, was projected to succeed him at Oklahoma. Now he'll have a difficult decision to make about his football and baseball careers.
No, hold on now. Just give those Oklahoma boosters some time and see if they can't match your... I mean, this is all about money, right? I mean, let's face it. The minor league contract will be presented to Kyler Murray, who, being a 9th pick, is not going to be like the average minor leaguer.
No, he's fast track to the bigs.
Yes. And that means the money he gets paid is going to be a lot better than a lot of guys who might spend a little bit of time in Class A or Double A or whatever next year. This is all about... I mean, it's wrong for me to say, Oklahoma, you got to pay the guy. But isn't that honestly the case? I mean, and I'm not saying pay the guy right now, but what I'm saying is, does he look at football as a way to make more money? If he stays at Oklahoma this year, can he become a draft choice like his teammate, Baker Mayfield, who was the number 1 pick in the draft? And I'll guarantee you that money is better than being the 9th pick in the Major League Baseball draft. But it may also depend on the kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes if baseball is your thing, then baseball's going to be what you play. And I'm just interested to see what his decision's going to be. He may be with Russell Wilson and say, you know what? Don't make me choose. I want to play both.
Yes, but Russell Wilson wasn't a ninth pick. I think that's where we're really going to draw the line.
Real quick, this will completely wreck this. If Russell Wilson was the ninth pick, would he have ever played football?
Probably not.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
guessing
so.
because I think he loved baseball more than football.
Yeah, and you just look at it from just career decision wise, the longevity of a baseball player far outseeds that of a football player. I know quarterback's a little bit different, but you don't have to deal with CTE and concussions and all this other stuff in baseball, right? And the money can be far, far greater. Kyler Murray's not a good quarterback. Let's not forget. Let's not act like Kyler Murray is a good quarterback.
Right.
We saw him for 6 or 7 games at Texas A&M back in 2015 before he decided to transfer to Oklahoma. I think his best game he threw for maybe 155 yards. He finished with 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions before ultimately being benched, and that's why he made the move to Oklahoma. He's not a good quarterback. He might not even have ended up being the starter for Oklahoma this year. So I think it's going to be a no-brainer. If you're telling me I can sign right now, he's 20 years old, Kyler Murray. As a 20-year-old, you can go ahead and put $4.6 million in your pocket and be on that projected path to be a long-term MLB starter. This guy's going to make generational money that he wouldn't see. If Kyler Murray was going to get drafted, let's say he went and he played for Oklahoma this year and he had a good season. He's not going to win the Heisman, but let's say he leads Oklahoma to 9-10 wins. It's a good program. Let's say he has a couple of 300-yard games. Have him finish him with 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and that's being really generous. Where is he drafted? 3rd, 4th, 5th round, maybe, with someone taking a flyer on him. Then he's signed to a 2 or 3 year rookie deal. He's not making any money. It would take Kyler Murray to that second contract. No guarantee that he would even get that second contract. And then he would still probably be making backup money. Nothing about Kyler Murray says, I'm going to be a starter in the NFL. It's okay, maybe I can be a long-term backup. And that's nice money, but not compared to top-tier MLB starter money.
No, and I'm with you. I was sitting here looking up a couple of different things, and you're right. Okay, so we know this can change. If Kyler Murray, were to go into Oklahoma and have an unbelievable year, and they were to go, another crazy 12-1 or 13-0, and he was to put himself in that, that could completely change. Mm-hmm. Right now, as you were talking about, he's not even on anybody's real radar as an NFL quarterback. So, yeah, I am interested to see what his decision will be. I think it will be to say, thank you, Oklahoma, for everything you've done, but it's time for me to pursue my career in baseball. Now, that puts a big...
Now, I think there is
some pressure on Lincoln Riley to figure out how to fix that. But, come on, this guy's kind of a quarterback guru, isn't he?
Lincoln Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's a system guy.
Yes. And
which is,
yes.
goes on, that's college.
Absolutely.
Right?
We got one more.
I'm not knocking him
we
for
do.
that.
Okay, I know we got to hurry, don't we? All right, here somewhere there is a sound effect, and we will play it. And that's not the sound effect I'm looking for. This one.
By Nick Wagner, ESPN. Dwight Clark, the receiver who made one of the most memorable plays in NFL history and jump-started the San Francisco 49ers dynasty, died Monday at his home in Montana. Clark, who had been battling ALS since he first began feeling weakness in his left hand in September of 2015, was 61 years old.
I only have a little bit of time. ALS is just this horrible thing. I think we always associate it with athletes because it is often called Lou Gehrig's disease, and Lou Gehrig was a great baseball player. I think obviously from a local standpoint, Keith LeClaire, the former coach at East Carolina's baseball program, who also contracted this, and they had that LeClaire Classic, which raises money for ALS. Steve Gleason, most recently from the New Orleans Saints, was another person, special teams player that was diagnosed with this, but there have certainly been other guys. I think probably the name that most people are going to remember, Stephen Hawking. It's a horrific disease, and Dwight Clark, unfortunately, had struggled the last few years of his life as this disease just debilitates people the longer it progresses. And so One of my first memories, that 1980 NFC Championship game, the 49ers, him in the back of the end zone making that famous play, the catch. For years, that was just when you talk about like highlights that were shown, that was just a million times. And great player. And to me, what needs to be credited, Bill Walsh, the genius coach, and how that particular relationship and Dwight Clark opened up and to me changed the tight end game. What they did with Air Coryell and the Chargers and what Bill Walsh was doing with the 49ers changed the tight end position forever. But I know we got to go. Carolina, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't blame you. Let's take a break. We'll come back.